Hello friends, in this video we'll be discussing about the mechanism of computation of interest in case of reversal of ITC. 50 subsection 3 of CGST Act was amended with effect from 1st July 2017 earlier, stating that interest would be applicable in case of ITC reversal only and only if the reversal amount stood both availed and utilized. How do we know if the balance has been availed and utilized? For this, Rule 88B was inserted, which stated that if the balance in the electronic credit ledger falls below the excess ITC availed, that means the ITC to be reversed, then only the interest is applicable. For instance, if my balance in the electronic credit ledger is 1 lakh rupees and my reversal amount is 1,20,000 rupees, in that case, interest would be applicable only on 20,000 rupees. Also, the amount would be 20,000, but what would be the date from which the reversal would start? In such cases, it was mentioned that it would be from the date when it was utilized, the balance was utilized, till the date of reversal. So, when does the balance stand utilized? It was stated that if I am making payment of taxes through return, which is resulting in my balance getting utilized. So, if my balance was, let's say, 1,50,000, I am making 50,000 rupees of payment. In that case, the date when I am actually making the payment would be relevant. If I am making the payment through the return, in that case, actual date of payment or due date of payment, whichever is earlier. So if I am making the payment after the due date, in that case, it would be deemed as if the balance was utilized on the due date itself. In any other case, it would be on the date of actual debit in my electronic credit ledger. So the date when I am actually debiting my electronic credit ledger, if I am, let's say, making the payment through DRC03. So the date when my balance falls below the amount which is required to be reversed, from that day the interest would be applicable till the date when I am actually making the reversal of ITC. However, if my balance was always above the threshold limit, for example, I am required to make a reversal of 1 lakh rupees, whereas my balance is 1,50,000 rupees. In that case, there would be no applicability of interest. Now, a major question which was arising before the department and before the assessees was, how do we know the balance of electronic credit ledger? Do we take the amount of individual heads CSI separately, or do we take all the balances together? For instance, I have a balance of 40,000 rupees in my IGST, 30,000 and each in my CGST SGST. That means my balance is 1 lakh rupees. Now, if I am required to make a reversal of 50,000 rupees under IGST head, mind you, my balance under IGST was only 40,000. 30 each was under CGST SGST. So if I am required to make a reversal of 50,000 rupees, should I take the balance of all the three heads together and see 1 lakh rupees as my balance for determining if my balance has fallen below the threshold? Or should I see the individual ledger heads balance, which is 40,000 rupees of IGST? So in that case, if I see the balance altogether, in such cases, the amount of reversal would be 0, because there would be no reversal if I am having all the balances being taken together, because my balance was 1 lakh rupees. However, if I am seeing individual ledger head balance, I am seeing only 40,000 rupees in my IGST, then my reversal would be on balance 10,000 as my reversal was on 50,000. So in such cases, it has been clarified that I need to see the balance of all the heads together. This is a welcome relief, because in a lot of cases, the portal allows me to utilize the balance in a specific manner. I cannot keep the balance as and when I want in whichever ledger I want. I have to utilize the balance in a particular format. So in such cases, it would becomes impossible for me to always have balance in a particular ledger wherever I want. So in such cases, this is a welcome relief that I need to see all the balances together, and if my balance is above the limit of ITC reversal, I don't need to reverse ITC. I don't need to pay interest. However, having said this, when we see compensation ITC balance, in such cases, we don't need to include it in the electronic trade ledger, because compensation balance can be utilized only against compensation cess. So the balance in compensation cess ledger would not be relevant for computing interest, right? Having said this is a welcome relief. This would be applicable to a lot of litigation scenarios which were arising today in, because a department had been reversing, had been asking assessees to pay interest wherever the balance was not there in the relevant head. So in such cases, we are going to see a significant relief coming in. So this would be a welcome step from the department, welcome step from the government. So all these cases would stand resolved, because this is in the form of circular, and circular is applicable right from the beginning when this amendment had come in. So we are going to see all the issues which were under pendency in appeals or adjudication, where department was levying interest because they were only taking one ledger head's balance for interest computation. All of those issues would stand resolved after this clarification. So with this we come to the end of this video. Thank you so much for giving me a very patient hearing.